following is a production of Learfield Sports.
It's been an exciting few weeks at UMass, and the momentum is kicking into high gear. As things start to rev up, we've got another great episode of the UMass Sports Insider. Today, we highlight some of the successes off the field that you might not read about in the newspapers. We spotlight DeAndre Brown, who made a major impact for the men's soccer team this fall, and look back at the career of Heather McLean, who was recently honored as one of the top athletes in the country. So sit down, strap in, and get ready. The UMass Sports Insider starts now. Hi folks, welcome to another episode of UMass Sports Insider. I'm your host, Josh Maurer, here on the beautiful UMass Amherst campus. Well, we know that UMass student athletes are not only successful on the field, but also in the classroom. Recently, the athletic department completed the Robert and Marianne Foote Academic Success Center, which will greatly enhance the way that students here at UMass can study and learn off of the fields. Thanks to the generous gift by the Footes, the next generation of student athletes should have great success in the classroom.
Today is a special day. We wanted to dedicate this wonderful new facility, this renovated facility, the Academic Success Center, for our athletic department. This is a special day because of the people who are the namesake of this space and what they've meant to this university. Bob class is 62, Marianne class is 77. Their philanthropy has been remarkable. It's remarkable because of their interest, their generosity, their passion for all things UMass.
Thanks to everyone for being here for the celebration of the official opening of the Bob and Marianne Foote Academic Success Center. It has been fully functional since the semester began, and we're grateful to Bob and Marianne Foote for the generosity that created this invaluable learning environment. Like all great gifts, Bob and Marianne gave this one from their heart. As proud alumni, they appreciate the transformative power of a UMass Amherst education. Success comes from striving for excellence at all levels. This emphasis on excellence was certainly evident in Bob's career as a Minuteman football player and future Hall of Famer. And it continued after graduation as the Footes went on to realize substantial success in their adult lives. We are honored that the Footes chose to celebrate their commitment to the university by investing in this center. In sharing our vision for excellence at every level, they are ensuring that our student athletes have the resources to successfully realize their full potential in and out of the classroom.
I can generally see now students wanting to come on their own time, by their own choice. You have also fostered a vital reason to become a student athlete here at the University of Massachusetts. When recruits come, they can see how the academic program wants to help them on and off the field. And on top of that, you've created a more inviting space. I can literally go in now and see so many more student athletes, from the projectors to the whiteboards to the study rooms. You've literally taken the student as a beneficial way in being a student athlete. And I would like to thank you for that.
One of the greatest assets that you've provided to us is your friendship. Every time I talk to Bob on the phone, the way that he ends our phone calls is he says, I believe in you and I support you. On behalf of a very proud and thankful 21 sports and 650 student athletes, thank you.
When Ryan and David came to me with this project, came to us, I was very excited about it. I'm dyslexic, so without the aid of tutors, which it took good part of, I think, without them, I'm not sure I would have graduated. So this means a lot. I hope everybody takes advantage of it. I know from playing here how many hours you spent practicing, working out with travel and everything else. So taking away from your study time, this is a good place to come and maybe catch up on some of that stuff. So again, thank you. I'm proud of what you guys do for our university, and keep up the good work. Thank you.
We are all so grateful to Robert and Marianne for their generosity and thank them for what they've been able to do to help out our student athletes in the classroom. Speaking of academics, recently some of the UMass student athletes took some time out of their busy schedules to stress the importance of reading. Let's check in with UMass hockey standouts John Leonard and Mario Ferraro as they took some time with some local school students.
So today in our classroom we had two hockey players from UMass come in and read books to the third graders. They read Jaguar and Separate is Not Equal. And they're two books about social justice, which is something that in Amherst, but also Crocker Farm is really important. You know, we're hoping to teach young students that everybody matters and everybody can have a difference in the world and make change.
Yeah, we were at the UMass Hockey Reading Initiative for Crocker Farms Elementary School. So basically we came in, we read to the class, which was pretty cool. I mean, I remember doing something like this in junior hockey, and it's always fun to see the kids' reactions. They're always excited, so it was cool.
Reading at Crocker Farm Elementary School, it's a great program to reach out to little kids. And for me, it's different because I went to school in the Amherst system, so I got to connect with the students a little bit more. And had my old teacher, so that was pretty cool.
One of the hockey players, John, was a kindergartner in my class many years ago in 2003, 2004, and I remember him being a really lovely, sweet student, and I remember him learning to read, and now I'm having him come back as a successful reader to young students, and so they can see that school, this is where it starts, but it can lead them to college and it can lead them. And it was really wonderful to see John because he was just a lovely student in my classroom and with a great family. So it's nice to have those old students come back and be part of the community again and reconnect. Also great to see how he's succeeding.
I think it's pretty cool that I went to school in the Amherst system and are able to come back and talk to the kids about, you know, my childhood and kind of where I went after going to school in Amherst, and I went to Fort River, very similar to Crocker Farm, so it was cool to, you know, talk to them and get to know them a little bit and read a short story.
It's very humbling just be able to come in here and talk to the kids, especially because when we were younger, we always had people coming in and doing things for us, and you know, stuff like this makes those kids' days, and it's really cool to see their reactions on their face and how happy and excited they are, and just to kind of give back to them, especially for all the support we get around the rink, people coming to games and supporting us, and we want to give back in a way, and it's really nice, and I was thankful for the opportunity that we had, me and John, to come in here and talk to the students. It was cool, it was really fun, enjoyed it.
Well, I think it's important to have members from the hockey team come because they are members of our larger community, but to have the hockey players come in, they're athletes and they're students, and they're sharing that they can be leaders in the community and that the kids can relate to them. They're the face, I said to one of them, they're the face, there's the face behind the mask, and it makes them real people. It also would make them more, you know, support the team and kind of build that team spirit in the community.
My favorite part was honestly the book I read. It was actually really insightful. It was super long, but it was like a good book, and I actually learned something from it. I think the kids enjoyed it, so it was cool just to see how fun they had and see the questions that they had at the end. It was an awesome experience. I loved it.
I think just being around the kids, they're always fun to be around and always making jokes and things like that, so it was fun to be around them.
I'm really glad that UMass has started this program and that they're having the athletes come visit us because I think it does build bridges between the university and our students. And also I think for the college students to see the young kids who look up to them.
Hey, it's great to see the excitement there from Mario and John, and we love to see that the student athletes are so engaged with those in our local community. We're just getting started on this episode of UMass Sports Insider. Time to step aside for a few moments. When we come back, we take one more look at the remarkable career of Heather McLean. Not just one of the best athletes all time at UMass, but last year one of the best in the nation. Keep it right here.
The Learfield Directors Cup, the highly recognized mark of distinction in college athletics across all divisions, both men's and women's sports. Follow your favorite team's pursuit for excellence in this prestigious annual award through thedirectorscup.com, USA Today, or at L Directors Cup on Twitter or Facebook. Learfield Directors Cup, the crowning achievement in college athletics since 1993.
The best of Las Vegas is coming to the heart of New England. This is a first.
Welcome back to UMass Sports Insider. A three-time All-American, Heather McLean was simply put one of the greatest athletes ever to compete for UMass track and field and cross country. Well, just last month, Heather was honored as a top 10 finalist for the NCAA's Woman of the Year award after her final season with UMass wrapped up last spring at the NCAA Championships. Let's take a look back to that ceremony and find out what it meant for Heather.
So the NCAA Woman of the Year award honors the top NCAA athletes from three divisions, Division 1, 2, and 3. The top women who have shown leadership in their sport, but also in the classroom and outside of the classroom. So whether that be community service or starting a mentorship group or helping out at your local Boys and Girls Club. They've had a tremendous amount of community service time as well as a lot of accolades in the classroom and on the field. Obviously, I had really hoped that I'd be in the top 10, but I just know there's so many amazing women in the NCAA, and I didn't know if I qualified to be in that top 10. So I was really honored and excited and just really happy with being notified that that happened and really excited to be in that spot. We found that we share so much more in common. Our passions are the same. We're really passionate about pushing athletics forward for the rest of women in sport. We're really passionate about making the community better for individuals who are participating in sport. And it was just a really exciting weekend. We had dinners together, lunches together. We did a t-shirt exchange. So I actually have like a Missouri State t-shirt from a volleyball player from Missouri State. So it was just a really exciting time. If there's no passion, then I'm not going to be as motivated to do it. So I really like going out and helping other people, or I really liked participating in all the SAC community service events, and those were things that I really enjoyed and actually took my mind off of maybe like athletics for the moment if athletics wasn't so great, or school with the moment if I was really stressed in school. So really finding the balance in everything. For instance, I've always been really passionate about my running career, but obviously with everything, sometimes it stresses you out, and going out and doing something else that takes your mind off of it a little bit, but also makes you just a happier person was really important to me, and it was really important to the balance. So really like all the things I was doing were just keeping myself as happy as I could at all times, because you know, you have a full plate on your hands, and you can only put up with a full plate like that if you really are enjoying what you're doing.
What a fantastic honor for Heather, a great representative of the university as a whole, and a great way for her to end her career with UMass. Time for a quick break. We're coming back in just a few moments on UMass Sports Insider with a chance to meet DeAndre Brown of men's soccer, the team's leading scorer this year. We'll also go behind the scenes with our nationally acclaimed cheerleading program. See you on the flip side.
I think he made 60 saves against Boston College.
Maine winning in overtime, triple OT against UMass. I'll always remember Kevin Law picking up the Hockey East trophy and hoisting it.
Who will make history this year at the 35th Hockey East Championship? Get your tickets at the TD Garden box office or Ticketmaster.com.
That weekend here in March, playing down here at the Garden, those games are always a fan's dream.
The City of Champions will crown another champion when the 2019 Atlantic 10 Women's Basketball Championship comes to the A.J. Palumbo Center on the campus of Duquesne University. The top teams in the Atlantic 10 will vie for the title and an automatic bid to the NCAA tournament. Friday, March 8th through Sunday, March 10th, 2019. Purchase your tickets now and cheer on your favorite team at the A10 Women's Basketball Championship.
On this stage, under these bright lights, the Atlantic 10 Men's Basketball Championship returns. 14 teams, 1 trophy.
Welcome back to The Insider. Well, I know that the winter season is upon us, but it's time for a final look back at one of the fall sports, men's soccer, where a transfer came back to lead the team in scoring this year. Let's meet DeAndre Brown, a man who spent his first 3 college seasons at UConn. But the Springfield native came back to Western Mass to help lead the team this past season for Fran O'Leary.
Coming from Massachusetts, I know a lot about UMass and especially a lot of players here. I grew up with Kevin Bueno, same high school as Richard, played against Sammy, so I was really familiar with the guys. And it was nice to come back home, play for Massachusetts, and I had a good time in Connecticut with my last year. Kind of wanted to do it here. Judging from the 2017 season, I saw that they did really well winning the double. And I just wanted to be a part of a successful group and a group of guys that wanted to work hard. So I was just hoping to add anything that I could help on to reach that goal again.
And there's a goal! DeAndre Brown.
I think it was a system that was just really set up for me. Like, beginning of the season, I was coming off the bench, but it wasn't a role that I was upset with. I think the way Coach Fran plays helped me out, helped the guys out. I was able to get a lot of easy looks on the goals. I think it's a position that if you work hard, you can get the results out of it. So me personally, like how I always played was, I was a striker who would walk a lot, and then I would sprint. Coming here, Fran completely switched it up and made sure I was running all the time. So at first I didn't really like it that much. I didn't understand the point of me running and being tired, but then when the goals started coming in, I couldn't go against the tactic because it was just working for me. Joining any new team is going to take some while to gel in, but it was actually a great group of guys that brought me in, and especially Clem. Clem helped me getting really accustomed to the process and how things work. And I'd say in a matter of 2 weeks, I felt like I've been here for about 4 years. Sometimes I would doubt myself. I still, had the legs for it, and it turns out that with the guys, the confidence they gave me, and the group of guys who really helped me reach some of my personal goals as well as team goals, I still had a lot of soccer left to play. My favorite game had to be against Clemson. It ended in a 0-0 tie, but it was a team that, we were really matched up against to be, the underdogs, or we were supposed to lose 2-0, 3-0, and if you were watching the game live, you would see that we actually had them in the last 20 minutes. So that was early on in the season. That really showed me the type of guys that I was actually playing with, that they weren't scared of competition. They were ready to go after the toughest guys, and that was just a group of guys that I wanted to be a part of. I remember when I shot the ball, I didn't even look at the ball go in. because it's been a while since I've done that. So after I got the first one out, it was kind of getting into the rhythm again. And then when I scored 2 against Bryant, that's when I started to feel a little rhythm coming on, and then everything else kind of fell into place.
Did he go for 2? And he does!
Hopefully I can play some more soccer after college. If not, I want to stay at the school. I actually really like UMass. I would like to do my graduate degree here, and we'll see from there.
Although it was a heartbreaking loss in the Atlantic 10 quarterfinal round for the Minutemen in a penalty kick shootout, DeAndre helped raise the bar high this season for Fran O'Leary's team, and we thank him for all his contributions in his one season in Amherst. Let's move now from the pitch to the sidelines. You see them on the sidelines during all football and basketball games, as well as in the community. But did you know that the UMass cheerleading squad is one of the best spirit teams in the nation? Well, we decided to go behind the scenes with them and see what it takes UMass Cheer to be at their best every single day.
I've been here for 3 years. I came from Liberty University. I cheered there and I cheered on Team USA. I wanted to bring a better game day to UMass and a better fan interaction for our student athletes to kind of know who the cheerleaders are as ambassadors of the university, and for them to put a better name on UMass cheerleading. Being a cheerleading coach in college is different than being a cheerleading coach in high school or for a club team. There's a bunch of different rules that we follow. All of our student athletes have to be full-time students and enrolled at the university. To compete for UCA Nationals, where we go in January, you have to have a 2.5 or higher to make MAT, and you can compete with 20 people. When you're coming in as a cheerleading coach, you have to be ACA certified, so there's a whole bunch of safety tests that we have to take, and our certificates are good for 3 years, and then we redo them. We have to be heads up certified for concussions because we have the #2 concussion contact sport next to football based on pyramids and baskets and flying bodies and things like that in the air. So kind of being familiar with the rules in college cheerleading is different. And the game day aspect is a lot different than high school. In college, the main focus is truly being an ambassador and kind of knowing your role on game day and then making competition second. So I think that's a different outlook that a lot of coaches have to learn coming from all-stars in high school into college. A lot of kids come from high school and all-star thinking that we are primarily focused on competition. It's a big highlight of our season, but it's just a weekend. So definitely focusing on football and your emotions and kind of knowing how to speak to other people, because at our tryouts we do interviews with our associate ADs, kind of seeing if our student athletes can talk to other people, because you want to be able to have a conversation on game day with those around you. So just knowing what your role is definitely a big thing. I think college cheerleading has definitely evolved over time. I do think that knowing like truly how much athleticism it takes definitely comes into play at the University of Massachusetts.
For football games, we do a lot more because the games are longer and we're constantly moving around the entire time. Basketball, it's really important that we have something good for the timeouts because we only go out onto the court twice.
For football season, we learn sidelines, we can do pyramids, baskets. So the rules that you would have for football are different than basketball from a skill standpoint, and just the fan interaction and the longer day. Basketball is generally shorter. We do easier stunts. You can't do pyramids or free releasing skills at basketball, but it's a more closed, intimate setting. Our cheerleaders, we want them to look perfect up close, so when they're talking to people and how close you're sitting in Mullins is just a little bit of a different view than McGurk or Gillette. And so we really want to make sure we focus in on the difference between basketball. We want our cheerleaders to know the difference in what fourth down is versus when you make a free throw. So they need to learn the game when they're coming in as freshmen for both basketball and football.
To prepare for basketball games, it's during our national season, so we multitask between nationals and basketball games, and we choreograph timeouts. We practice what we're going to do on the sideline and what we're going to do for media timeouts. A nationals routine, it's a lot more intense than what we do on the sidelines of games. It's 2 minutes and 30 seconds of just nonstop moving, of stunting and tumbling and pyramids. So we squeeze a lot more into it, and it's the hardest skills that we can do.
We compete at UCA College Nationals every year in January, and we're in the Division 1A all-girl division. It's based on your football seeding, so because we're FBS, we compete against Alabama, Indiana, UNLV, USF, so the very best teams in the country compete in our division. And so there's 29 teams that compete with us. We compete in the game day division, so it consists of a timeout routine, a sideline, and a fight song, and you do all three of them at random, kind of like you would at a football game. We compete in prelims against 29 teams for all girl, and it's basically you put a routine together with all of your hardest skills, so baskets, pyramids, you put a cheer together that speaks to your university, and and then you kind of go off a score sheet. So there's difficulty, there's execution, there's crowd engagement. Depending on your school, definitely depends on how well people know your traditions. So schools like Alabama and Kentucky have a really big tradition at competitions like these. And so you get a score day one. Based on your score day one is if you make it to day two. Since I've been here, we've made it to day two the last 3 years, and I want to make it to day two again. Come in top 10 the last 2 years, so I would definitely like to come in top 5 this year.
And we certainly appreciate everything that UMass Cheer does to support UMass athletics. Best of luck to them this winter for another strong showing at the Nationals. Well, time for one final break here on the program. When we come back, we're getting into the Thanksgiving spirit. Dust off your cookbooks, because today's lighter side looks at our student athletes' favorite dishes around this Hallmark holiday. It's cranberry sauce time. We're back after this break.
This is the place where planets collide, where Pulitzer and Fulbright are full-time residents, where 28,000 brilliant young minds from 65 countries call home. This is the place that propels the state and lifts the world. UMass Amherst, this is the place.
Welcome back. The show is almost over, but you know what that means. It's time for the lighter side. Do you love Thanksgiving? I love Thanksgiving, and perhaps no other holiday is tied into food as much as this one. So for this lighter side, we asked some of our student athletes, what's your favorite Thanksgiving delectable dish when you're home with the family?
You just put as much as possible on one plate and then, take a picture of it and then eat it. Some turkey, stuffing, macaroni and cheese, stuff like that.
My mom's turkey, her mashed potatoes are out of this world. Shit, everything. I didn't mean to say that, but everything.
Everybody knows it's turkey, but probably ham. I just became a stuffing fan, so I want a little bit more in the stuffing than the normal macaroni and cheese, collard greens, everything like that.
Yeah, go-to dessert, apple pie and ice cream. Always sneak extra 2 seconds, thirds. So.
Is the best apple pie also your mom?
Of course.
Makes me hungry just hearing those answers. Thanks for participating, guys. We thank you so much for watching. That'll do it for this episode of UMass Sports Insider. Best of luck to the men's and women's basketball teams, as well as UMass hockey as they continue their schedules here this winter. We'll be back with another new episode soon, so we hope you'll join us then. Until next time, I'm Josh Maurer. Thanks again for watching.